Well, hello, and welcome, Dixie Belle Paint fans. How are you today? It is Melissa from the Top Drawer RVA coming to you live because it is Wednesday, and I am live here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. to sit on the floor and play with paint. And I have a new little cutie over here. So what are we going to do? We're going to take this little French provincial nightstand and we are going to paint it in a cloudy scheme. I actually grabbed my daughter's iPad so that I can show you exactly the look that we're going for, if I can still pull it up. So I was looking at some images today of what I could do to this little nightstand, since it's tiny and it is kind of fun and it needs to be wild and whimsical and adorable because the size is like literally this big. It's so little. So why not be bold and fun with your color? And I went through some Pinterest images and I was on the internet and I looked at something like this. Is this going to transmit? Let's see if it'll transmit. Can you see that pretty pink and the blue and the clouds and the sky? So cute, so soft. You guys know I love a faded, cloudy kind of ombre look. So that is the style we are going to go for today. Let's put that on the floor over here and get you caught up with what is happening on this little nightstand. As always, if you have a comment or a question and I don't see it as it flies by, you can drop it in the comments below and I will come back in and re-watch it afterwards. To get started with, this little French provincial was at my Goodwill for, I think it was $15, which is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good for pricing, especially at Goodwill, because Goodwill, you'd be crazy lately. You've been pricing stuff way too high. If I can put my little 2 cents in, just so you know, just so you know. So I took this little nightstand home with me where I discovered it was pretty much all laminate wood, especially the top was really laminate and shiny. I've painted the entire thing all the way around with Bonding Boss in gray. So if you picked up a little project like this and you discovered that the top of it, especially the tops of these old pieces, were always very plastic-like in fashion, which was great for durability for them. I mean, you could beat the heck out of a nightstand when it's, you know, plastic on top and nothing is going to happen. But if it makes you really hard to paint if you have a laminate surface. But now, there's the chalk, nails in the chalkboard sound. But now that I've primed this piece with Bonding Boss in gray, we are ready to go. We know that our paint will adhere to anything and we can paint anything with a little bit of Bonding Boss. I have been using this, no lie, on every single project for the past 3 months, since it came out at least. The reason I like it is because no sanding, obviously, no stains, no bleed through, blocks odors. I've had a run-in with some kind of stinky pieces lately, so anything that was kind of a little bit stinky got bossed inside and out. But for little plastic pieces like this, you need this. This is a dream. Go grab this. They have it in 3 different colors: clear, white, gray, and lots of different sizes. All right, so let's jump in. Whoop, sorry. I'm going to turn this little nightstand so we can practice on the side of it today. Okay, let's see if I can get it sturdy. So we're going to paint right here today. Let's see if I can bring you over just to sit behind my shoulder a little bit more. And this way you're going to be able to see everything that we're doing today. Even if you don't see my face, you're going to be able to see the entire project. So what do I have open on the floor? Okay, spray misting bottle filled with water. Always essential when you're going to be doing blends or cloudy blends, right? This is going to be the trick to getting your paint to really move well. All the paints I'm using today are chalk mineral paints, which means they are 0 VOCs and they have a water base. I grabbed an old tray because I do have some paint that's in like little, what do you call these? I don't know, plastic containers. I know there's a name for these. There's a technical name. People call them FIFO bottles or whatever. This is not that version. This is the cheapo version from Amazon. So I've had some paints have their lids not go back on well. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yes, I do. It's because I'm a terrible person for putting lids back on. So I have to put it in this to save my sanity. So this is actually Lucky Lavender and Secret Path mixed together. I'm going to put some of this paint down in the tray to kind of like mix up some soft colors. I want everything to be very soft and very pastel-like today. So a mix of Lucky Lavender and Secret Path is going to be very purpley. It's going to be a very light purple, okay? I also have pink champagne in one of these bottles. So let's see if we can put pink champagne in here as well, which pink champagne is technically almost white, but can I tell you, it's going to be my deciding factor for keeping this like mix nice and pastel and like just soft. Let's see, move that over here. And I have one more in the corner. This is just plain old Fluff, okay? Fluff is a white, and I'm going to put that in my tray as well. A lot more. I think I need more Fluff than anything else. So what I'm thinking in my head is pastel, pink, blues. Oh, I have one more dusty blue. This is dusty blue on its own in this little container. Let's put him over here on this side so we don't mix it up with their whites. And then we're gonna go very soft. We're gonna make this cloud scene happen. And it's going to be, whoa, did you see that? I shook it and like some paint actually landed on the top of it. It's gonna be very light, soft pastel colors. All right, so now that I've got my paint on my tray out of these little squishy bottles, we are going to get started. Okay, so in my head, I have an idea. It might go a whole other way. You never know what can happen when you play with a little bit of paint. I think what we're gonna do is kind of like lay down a color pattern. I want blue sky, pink-ish base with lots of pink clouds in between. I'll be drawing stars on here. When I get to the top, I'm gonna be doing like a moon on there. We're gonna make this wild and whimsical and light and airy and fun because there's not enough fun in the world and on the internet. So let's have a fun time today, okay? So I'm gonna start off with the blue, dusty blue. This is kind of a little bit of an older paint, so I'm gonna have to get it a little bit more wet. And I'm gonna just come up here with the blue and make sure I get under the edge, right? Because if you look at this piece, you probably wouldn't because it's literally less than 2 feet tall. But if you look under the edge, I don't wanna see anything other than what I'm doing. I actually painted the back of this piece too because I had like that weird kind of like old writing on there mixed on with some like chippy particle board. It wasn't cute. It was not cute. So let's get a base down of how we're gonna lay out these clouds. So dusty blue is a muted blue. I did, my friends, and this might be a bad idea, but I did bring over some blueberry and cobalt. Do you think cobalt is too bright for my sky? Because blueberry is definitely more purple. I think we're gonna try some blueberry mixed in here. Have you tried the color blueberry? It's actually really pretty. I need to shake this paint. I need to shake it. Let's put that back on and put this back on and shake it up. This paint needs to be stirred well. This one's been sitting in the cupboard for a while. It's not a color I use often. So blueberry is a really pretty purpley blue, not like a deep blue, not a deep blueberry, but definitely blue. All right, let's see what happens if we mix some of the dusty blue with the blueberry, okay? I'm gonna come in. Yeah, see, I just want like a pretty pinky color base for the sky. I think what's gonna happen is we'll go here, blue, pink, dark pink, and then pink clouds in the center. Does that make sense? Do you think the cobalt's too dark for the corner? Should we try and put a little bit of cobalt in the corner just to see? I could mix the cobalt with Fluff if it's too dark. Yep, you're right. So like cobalt is vibrant blue, like too much blue, but I might just darken these corners a tiny bit, right? Because if we're gonna do stars and a tiny moon, I'm gonna use the same brush because I just wanna see what happens. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just like a little shadow in the corner. I don't think I want this piece to be too bright. I really want like a muted, kind of a pretty sky. I have a rag on the floor and I can wipe off the paint off my brush and I can go back into that blueberry. Because these paints are water-based, they're very easy to blend together. And this is a sky, right? This is a sky. There's no rules for clouds in the sky. You can paint whatever you like. Go right ahead. There's no rules in painting. Okay, so let's go into, I'm gonna grab a different brush. I think I'm gonna go white into blue and the deepest pink on the bottom. Okay, before I mix this and the white, let's work on the pink on the bottom. So for pinks, I did bring over Plum Crazy, even though I feel like Plum Crazy is too dark. I brought over Peony. I brought over Flamingo. I brought over, thought I brought over Cottage Door, but I guess I didn't because I have the flamingo there, so I don't need it. Let's start with the Peony and see what happens if we put it down here. So the reason why gray is a great primer over top of a project is if you decide, like me, to be crazy right now and jump into Peony or Plum Crazy. Let's even open it up. Let's do a little Plum Crazy maybe on the feet. Gray is a super duper great primer. Like, you're going to use way less paint on your projects when you use gray and you come in with like reds or pinks. It's a given. You're going to have much less paint being used on your projects because of the stain blocking primer. The stain blocking primer is the magical trick to using less paint. Okay, that's as much paint as I want to get. I'm going to be wearing, like, do you guys know how much paint is on me by the end of the day? If my husband ever takes me out, I have to do like a paint check. I have to check the back of my arms. I have to check my legs, definitely my feet. The amount of paint that gets put on this body is a little bit insane. Okay, let's grab some of that purple. I'm going to go with the same brush. This is the Lucky Lavender and Secret Path mix. And I'm going to just give it a little spray. We're experimenting here. The clouds are going to be most of the piece because, like I said, this is a tiny little end table, nightstand and table. Like, seriously, why did they make them so small? So little. So the clouds are going to be majority of the piece. You also have my Best Dang brush on the floor for blending. I also grabbed just like a couple little brushes, like if I wanted to get into the edges, and I grabbed some French tips. So we'll just see what happens here. I definitely want pink, and I definitely want baby blue. And I feel like even this pink is too pink. Let's mute it down some. So when you start to mix your colors together, you're gonna get a really pretty pastel shade going over top of that Peony, going over top of that Plum Crazy. I'm going to go and grab a different brush now. Let's grab a French tip and let's go into a little bit of the Secret Path on its own rather than the Secret Path mixed with Lucky Lavender, because the Secret Path is going to be a little bit duller and the one mixed with Lucky Lavender is going to be a little bit brighter. I'll bring that one up in a minute, but I just want to start to make a base. So the question is, before I bring these two together, do you think there should be more white in the middle? Or I shouldn't even worry about the white because the clouds are going to be pink and white? Literally talking to myself. This is how we roll. I like to talk to myself as I move along in my painting journey. I like to talk to you all. I used to be afraid of doing lives, and now lives to me are like nothing. Just do it. Just go with the flow. I'm going to dip a little bit of cotton into my blue. I think I want more of a baby blue. So let's dip a little bit of cotton on my brush. I don't want it too wet, right? Because this is where the clouds are going to live. But I don't want it to be too dark either. Once we lay out this color pattern, I'm going to kind of like ombre blend them all together. So now we got to bring this mix up. What color should I choose for the middle? I'm going to go into my mix of the pink, or sorry, the Secret Path and the Lucky Lavender. Okay, I know this looks totally fake, right? Like not like a real sky, but good. I don't want real sky. I want fun and whimsy and super cute little nightstand. Let's see. Oh, somebody's talking to somebody. We're having a chat in the convo. Good, talk amongst yourselves, have fun. It's a paint party over here. Okay, so this is kind of a good base, I think. We could go even a little deeper down here with the purples. Just maybe a little bit of the amethyst. So when I start to build up the clouds, there maybe could be some peaks of purple underneath. Can you see how that amethyst is just kind of popping in? I like it. I like it. Okay, so now let me grab a brush to meet these two in the middle. Something that's naked that has nothing on it. This is a naked brush. I'm just going to spray it. There's no color on here. And I'm going to kind of just soften these edges a little bit. By keeping a damp brush with no color on it, I'm going to be able to blend these colors together. We're going old school, back and forth with the colors. Remember the days before my best dang brush? I used to do this kind of blending all the time. It's hard to do without my best dang brush. I feel like the best dang brush is the thing that keeps it, I don't know, easy. Okay, so I'm back on my blue brush, and we're gonna kind of touch that little bit of cobalt up at the top, right? And a little bit more of that dusty blue in the middle. And we're gonna start to ombre blend these together. Once I get these colors down, I'm gonna come back in with my heat gun, and we're gonna dry this so that we can paint some clouds. Have you guys painted clouds with me before? You know that you know that I paint a lot of clouds. Clouds are simple, fun, and whimsical, and I think that everybody should get an opportunity to paint some clouds, because why not? Why not have some fun? Okay, good base. What do we think? Good? Good. Okay, let's dry it. Let's dry it and see what happens. Now, this is gonna be a little noisy. We're gonna dry this so that when we come in and do our clouds, we're gonna be able to manipulate them around. Let's see if I can pull up my picture that I had. I'll pull up a different one. I have so many on here. So now, if we look at this as like a base, can you see how this would be a beautiful base? Along with my little sprinkles of stars and my beautiful, beautiful clouds. I'm a little darker on mine, but again, photo for inspo. That seems like a good plan. Can you see how cute that is? So cute, right? So cute. I feel like the tinier pieces, the more I want to add all of the crazy things on there. Like the more I want to do. Okay, so how do you make a cloud? Let's bring you in nice and close, okay? How do you make a cloud? A couple different options. You could ball up your paper. We'll show you all of them. You can ball up a piece of paper. I'm gonna go and start with my pink champagne. I don't think any of these clouds are gonna be pure white, to be honest. So here's pink champagne on a piece of paper. Clouds are natural, right? There's no rules in clouds. Like you can kind of decide what kind of edges you want, how soft you want the edges. Paper towel is really nice to get in there and kind of manipulate your paint. I've folded over a couple times so I don't have the same edge. Doing small circular motions is also a great way to kind of really let it peek through. Spraying with water as you move along. The hardware on this piece I think will be gold. I don't want to paint over top of it. I like French provincial hardware. I think that it's so pretty that I would hate to paint over top of it. So I'm just going to keep it gold. It's a little worn out, but I can come in and use my spray paint and just really give it a new life. You could also decide to use your gilding wax. So that's one way of doing clouds. Sorry, I have to stretch my leg out. My leg is falling asleep. It's falling asleep. Okay, other way you could do it is to use a brush. Let's grab a French tip and let's go back into the pink champagne. So I'm not using white, even though it looks white. This is pink champagne. Okay, so I'm going to kind of build a couple different clouds. So can you see the difference between like a soft cloud? Like that looks fake to me. That looks more real. I like using the paper towel to really blur that edge. I just feel like it makes such a softer look. You can still see that blue peeking. And this is water-based paint, right? So like you're able to get in here and move it around and manipulate it. You're not locked into finding just one way of doing things. You can do it a couple different ways. Let's do it let's add a little blue. No, let's add purple into this cloud. So I'm going to just very gently dip a little bit of that mix of Lucky Lavender and Secret Path. Let's start to play. I want pink, I want fun, I want whimsy. I don't want anything to be too serious. I'm really like this week, really feeling like everything should be a little bit more fun. I don't know if it's just me or if it's the craziness on the internet or what. I just want stuff to be a little bit more fun. So I'm going to keep going with the white and the pink champagne, but I like that kind of blur out of the edges. So I'm going to keep going with my paper towel. I like the softness. Constantly moving it around so I'm not getting like a saturated piece. And then you can come in even afterwards and like touch all these edges of the clouds with some gold. You're not locked into whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like you can do, let's do a couple like little streaks. Let's do streaky clouds. Again with paper towel. Might have to grab more. I only have like a small little bit of it over here. More. I want more. I actually feel like I should put some pink on here. Should I take a tiny little brush and add some more pink? Let's add a little bit of that pink peony. Do you think we should? Might be a bad idea, but you never know until you try it. You never know until you try. Ooh, it's pretty. It's kind of like when the sunset hits the back of the clouds. We'll do some white over top of that. Pretty. I like it with the pink. Look at that. Let's do more. And then I'm going to get a toothbrush because the toothbrushes seem to do really good for sprinkling tiny bits of paint. And I'm going to sprinkle stars all over it and do like little teeny tiny stars up here too. It's going to be super cute. Let's go some more pink champagne. I want like a heavier cloud, something a little bit thicker. I like it when they layer over top of the pink like that. Normally you see me doing like moody, angry skies. This is a twist. This is a beautiful twist of some whimsy and pink. I like that guy. He's cute. How fluffy. How fluffy. Let's think about a cloud that might go like this and then back up so we have some kind of space. Let's go pink champagne with a little bit of white fluff in the middle. And then there's gonna have to be something over here. I just haven't gotten that far in my head yet. That's cute. Spray and soften. Spray and soften. I'm not going to spray the piece because I don't want this running down, if that makes sense. I just want it to kind of blur the edges. I want these clouds to be floaty and fluffy. That's a technical term, floaty and fluffy. Floaty and fluffy clouds to make everybody happy. Did y'all check out my video I put up on my Facebook page today of my crazy estate sale on the weekend? I've been literally dreaming of it in my head, and all I want to do is go back, because every time I watch the video I just see more treasures that I'm like, I really need to go back and buy more things. I went to this very old falling down house kind of halfway out in the country, not too far from where I'm at, and this woman had basically her whole entire sister's life outside in the yard and in the house. And I walked in and I was just literally flabbergasted. The woman who lived in that home had hand painted the entire house with scenes of chickens and a beautiful scene on the roof of, like on the ceiling of clouds. Maybe that's why this happened. Maybe I'm literally thinking of that house still. And I was so heartbroken for her because I know they're on a time crunch. That whole house is due to be torn down and there's so much stuff. So I only did like a part 1 video today of all the things that I saw, and I'm gonna do part 2 tomorrow of all the things that I bought, because I had to call my husband, y'all. My husband had to come and help me because I bought so much stuff. I couldn't help myself. I was overwhelmed and so in love with that house. I just wanted to buy all of the things. But it was in a falling down state of repair, so you had to watch out for anything that might have been like moldy or maybe not safe to buy, because you can't, like some of the furniture was in the way back and I couldn't even get to it. Oh, my heart was broken. I wanted to take home everything. I mean, me in a yard sale and me in a estate sale, that's my happy place. That is my happy place. So I want to go back. She's got 2 dressers for me in a back room that we literally couldn't get to because the room was so filled with things. So I need to go back. I'm hoping she calls me. She might not call me. You never know, because I gave her my number, but also I'm just turned into a weird, crazy stalker because I couldn't stop gushing about her beautiful home. Anyways, the things that we see in our journeys, right? I love a good estate sale. Nothing better for me. How are we liking this? Is this something you think you might try? I mean, I know it's a little wild and that some people might be like, that's crazy and out there. Why are you putting clouds all over this? Why not? I'm gonna come in and get this dry, and then we're gonna come in and add purple in these clouds because I need some purple clouds down here. I feel like definitely, let's put a little pink over here and then move into the purple because that's just too cute. But anyways, that's my story. That's what I put up on my Facebook today, was estate sale shopping that had me hooked. If anybody lives in Virginia and is looking for a partner in crime, I'm always looking for somebody to go get messy and dirty and covered in spiders with, because that's my favorite. We like that. That's what I want to do. I'll buy your coffee. We'll hang out. We'll go check out estate sales and thrift together. I could always use a new shopping buddy. Okay, this is cute. I'm liking the layers of pink. Let's add purple down here. I'm gonna go bold first. We're gonna go to the beautiful, I want to call it amethyst. Yes, it's amethyst. Beautiful amethyst. Let's add a little bit of dry over here. Don't worry, I'm not ruining this. We're not ruining it, people. We're just adding some color. We're just getting a little wild in here. Let's burnish these little edges out so we can make some purple clouds in my white, because we need purple. We need purple clouds. Cute, cute, cute. Now I'm going to go back with the white, so I'm going to go back into the pink champagne. And then let's grab a little bit of that mix of, what is this? Cottage Door? No. What did I say it was? Secret Path and Lucky Lavender. Secret Path, Lucky Lavender. Okay. Today is a get messy and play with your paint kind of a day. Should we do more white, or should we stick to keeping the purple down here? I feel like it might need to be, what am I going to do here? I'm going to have to bring something up. What should we bring up? Purple? Should I put more purple here and kind of bring it down? Purple or more pink? I think it might have to be purple. All right, I might ruin it. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens. I'm going to grab that amethyst. We're going to do amethyst on the edges. And then I'm going to go in the middle with that mix of purple. This might just be the crazy part, but I got to kind of cover this section. So let's see what happens. Grab some more paper towel. And honestly, if it ends up being too bright, I can always wash it in a bit of white to soften. I like the purple. Purple to me is just so fun. It's too straight. We gotta make it a bit more crooked. Now we need to put more of that pink back in. I want to use a brush. Let's grab this artisan brush. I don't want all the cloud to be like mushed with the paper towel. I feel like it might be more authentic if I can kind of get in here and soften the edges with a brush. Watch, after I turn the camera off, I'll just get crazy and just like add so much more things. So just using a little edge of the brush. I have a rag on the ground, I can wipe it off. Cute. What do we think? Should this go deeper purple down here, or should I go back to white? I feel like one cloud needs to be entirely just purple. It doesn't want to be white down here. I feel like purple might be a better option, which means I paint over top of the pink, but that was an experiment, I guess, right? It doesn't have to stay the way I started. I like that. I kind of want to do a little bit more amethyst. And then we'll kind of bring it down and maybe add a little bit of the peony underneath. Too much? Are we getting a little crazy in here? Smoke out those clouds. Of course we're not. I love it. I kind of like the pink and the purple clouds more than I like the white, not gonna lie. Should I just go over top of the whole thing with pink and purple? I mean, could be. Let's see what happens if we put a little bit of white on the edges. Like kind of start to highlight the edges of the clouds. I like the edges softer. This is my favorite part. So how do I do that over there? You know what it is that I think it's the pink champagne might not be pink enough. I might need to actually mix some of that peony in with the pink champagne to get the color that I'm feeling. Like I'm feeling like it needs to be, where's my purple brush? Did I not have one that was purple? Did I just mix it all together? I think I did. Like, do you see how these clouds are just cuter when they're pink? Let's put a huge pink cloud here. Let's just pink this whole thing out. Want to? I think it needs to be more pink. Patty likes a contrast. I'm gonna put a huge pink cloud right here. Let's do it. I mean, why not? It's just paint, right, people? It's just paint. Let's start with the beautiful amethyst. And then let's add a little bit of that peony. And then let's see what happens. I feel like I didn't even really want any white, and I think the pink champagne is just coming out so light. I think I just needed to make it darker. You're still seeing the white, but it's just coming out a lot more dramatic. We want the drama. Right? Nothing wrong with a little drama. Little paint drama. And then maybe smoke out more dark purple down here. I'm liking this better. That's better. I'm still seeing too much white. I almost want to make it even more pink. Y'all, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to turn the camera off and the entire thing is going to turn into purple clouds. That's what's going to happen. I know it. It's going to be like, Melissa, you showed me a tutorial on how to paint clouds, and then the next time I saw your painting, it was pink. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I have no control over what happens. It just ran away with me. Okay, now I want to go back to the white. Now I'm going to kind of do a little bit of some stuff on the edges here. You can tell when I get quiet, I'm thinking, I'm concentrating. Okay, liking this, I want even more. Give me more. Where's that brush? Fell underneath. And a little dab of the pink champagne on top of this cloud, so when I mush it together, some of the white highlights. See that little highlight? See that little highlight? She be pretty. More. I think this whole thing's going to turn pink. I'm getting carried away with myself. Let's do it. Let's do it. I kind of want, I want this part to all be pink. And then a touch of that at the top. And then let's mush it all together. And then we'll stop. We'll let it dry and then I'll reassess, okay? I won't get entirely carried away. I just need to reassess. Yes, pink, more pink. I am going to spray this a little bit because I kind of want to saturate it. I want to pull some of the white out from under here. So now I just have to figure out how I'm going to bring that in. How am I going to do that? Is it going to be purple? Is it going to be white? Can't be white. White's at the top. There needs to be some sort of an edge there. Better. Yes, we need to do more of that. Let's add just a little bit right here. You're like, she's lost her mind. Maybe. Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm just having fun. I need more purple, though. I think we're going to add a little bit more of that secret path. And then, you know, the magic really happens when you add the stars. When you start to add the stars in versus just like leaving clouds, that's when the splatters happen. That's when the fun happens. By the way, have you seen these new brushes from Dixie Belle? These are the new synthetic chip brushes. Yo, I've been using the heck out of these brushes. They are thin and they are so inexpensive, and I've been having so much fun with them. They wash really well too. They're definitely more than one use. Okay, so what are we doing here? We need to add a little bit of white. I need some contrast just at the top of this cloud. And then we're going to stop. I said I'm going to stop. What I say and what I do are two different things. But what do we think about that? I'm thinking I want to cover the entire thing with just pink and purple clouds. Is that, I mean, it's not too much. There's never enough. There's never enough, right? But when I look at this, I'm not digging the blue. Let's see what I had for my original inspo. By the way, look at my puppers. So cute. This is my daughter's iPad, so let's see. So that was kind of like my inspo, and that's not that far off. She kind of went way high and went in. This is actually a picture. I don't think this, I think it's like a pixelated, like a computer drawing. What do you think? Kind of cute, right? When I'm looking at this, I feel like this might be a little dark. I might have to add in a little bit more light, just a bit more light to these edges. You know, I mean, it's not going to stop until I literally get up and move away, because I'll just keep fussing with it until I move away. Cute. The only part I don't like is this. Like, I actually want to cover the whole entire thing with purple clouds. Let's see. Michelle says she likes that idea. Isn't that cute? So this is just a tiny little end table. And if I did white, if I did this like purpley clouds all the way up and didn't have any blue, it might actually look better. I don't know. Life is an experiment. It's an experiment. We won't know until we try it. I think that it's just going to be a lot of fun and a lot of playing until I figure out exactly how this is going to work. Like I don't know. I can't decide if I like the contrast or if I don't like the contrast. If it should be like a little bit of pink mixed in there. I don't know. To be continued. To be continued. Because who knows what could happen the next time you see it. But I'm not going to lie. The pinker the cloud, the more I like them. Because I don't... See, now I'm covering up that whole section of purple. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having fun playing with my paint. And don't forget to make them all weird shapes, because you can't be too even with clouds. Clouds are weird, right? Clouds are just air, fluffy air. We can't have them be too perfect. We don't want too much perfection going on. I don't know. I do not know. Drop in the comments below if you think I should just do the whole entire thing like this and cover the blue, or if you think I should keep the blue. I'm curious. I mean, the blue could still peek through very minimally. I don't know. It's an experiment. When something is tiny, when something is cheap, I expect you to have some fun. Because life is too short to be boring and brown and plastic laminate furniture. Let's spice it up with a little bit of pink clouds, some beautiful stars, and I'll probably be painting the moon on the top. We will see. Thank you very much for hanging out and playing with paint with me today. My name is Melissa. I'm one of Dixie Belle's brand ambassadors. I'm here every Wednesday at 3 to sit on the floor and play with some paint. And we make a mess. We have fun. And that's the way that it should be, because painting should be fun. There's no rules in painting. You're not locked in to basic, boring colors. I think you should experiment, have some fun, and play with your paint. I give you permission. And don't forget to check out that new brush, because I'm really, really liking it. This brush has been a lot of fun to use, and it has been very easy to wash up. I've really enjoyed it. It's the synthetic chip brush, and it's super inexpensive. I think you'll like it. I've actually been using it for a lot of bonding boss. I've been using it and washing it, and it's been coming out very, very good, because sometimes I'm scared of using my really great brushes for bonding boss because I'm not a good cleaner, if you know what I mean. And using a cheap synthetic brush that, if I have to throw it away, it's not a big deal, is always a game changer for me. All right, everybody, stay tuned. Next time you see this, it'll probably look entirely different. You never know. I will see you next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Goodbye.